It's always how it works, dude. Oh, you're all right. I think we are on. I think we're good. We good? Looks like we're good. Okay. Perfect. Oh, Phil.
Oh, hey, Beth. Beth joined.
Hi, Bethany. It says I can wave. I guess she can hit wave. She waved. Okay. I think you're. Yeah, I think we're good.
Cool.
Okay, we're just waiting. Welcome everybody to the live training. We're just gonna wait and see if we can get some people to trickle in. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I'm gonna try and give everybody the same amount of attention. So we're just gonna let a few more people trickle in. While we're waiting, I just want to set a few expectations for this live training. Typically, these live trainings, they go 30 minutes to an hour, and at the end, we do a live Q&A. And so while I'm doing the training, if you will drop in the chat a question, I will try and be as vigilant about looking at those questions and answering them while I'm doing the training. But if I don't get to it, at the end, we're going to have a live Q&A where I've got a team here. I don't know if you guys want to just jump in and just say hi. Oh, we got a few different cameras. You can wave at any of the cameras. And they're going to watch for all the questions. Any of the questions that come in that I don't address live, we will do at the end, or we'll do our best to get to at the end. So that's how these usually work. A couple other housekeeping items. I guess who is this video for? I want to address that right out the gate. If you're a entrepreneur or if you are a business owner, especially like a local service business, this video is for you. You're exactly where you need to be. But in addition to that, who is this video not for? If you are working a 9-to-5 and you enjoy your 9-to-5 and it pays you good money and it gives you a good work-life balance and you're happy and you don't have any desire to be a business owner or an entrepreneur, this video is not for you. Also, if you're looking for a quick get-rich-quick scheme, this video is not for you. That's not something I teach. And chances are, if you're following somebody who teaches that, the only person who's getting rich is the person teaching you how to get rich, right? So I just don't teach any of that. If you're looking for a quick, easy, cut corners scheme, this video is not for you. So I want to just start with who I am. I'm Luke Flickinger. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 15 years in a variety of different industries, from manufacturing to product development to agencies and local services and everything in between. I've done it. And all of this experience has taught me a lot of different things. And that's why I'm here, is I want to share some of the things that I've learned over the past 15 years. And trying to help any way that I can. So try to provide as much value as I can. Let's see. So in this training, what I'm going to teach you is the 4 pillars to a successful business. And before I go into the training, I want to share a story. But just so you're aware, while I'm telling the story, I want you to be focused on what these 4 pillars are. There is marketing, there is sales, there is operations, and then there's fulfillment. So those are the 4 pillars to a successful business. I've been doing a lot of local business consulting. I've been doing it for a lot of years, and I've met a lot of different business owners. And I was recently put in touch with a lady who has a business that she's had for 30 years. And this lady's 72 years old, 73 years old. And she's getting to the point where she's asking, like, when do I get to retire? And so she starts looking into different consulting businesses that can help give her an evaluation on her business. And this consulting business comes in and they tell her, your business is worth $2.5 million and you can exit and you can retire and you can be done. I mean, she's 72, 73 years old. And so she hires a business broker, and this business broker comes in and lists the business. And she, to nobody's surprise, she's getting a ton of emails and a ton of traction on this business listing. She makes really good money from the business, and she's listing it at a decent price. But what she wasn't prepared for is that no one ended up giving her a reasonable offer. they as soon as an investor came in and said, you know, I'm interested in this, and they kind of drew the curtain back on the business, they all backed out, or they offered her a low ball offer, according to her. And I think the low ball offers, or the highest of the low ball offers, was like $250,000. And this is, again, she was asking for $2.5 million for this business. So she calls me and she says, Luke, I don't know what I've done wrong. Like I've worked 30 years in this business. I built something that I'm really, really proud of. I opened the shop every day. I closed the shop every day. I hired employees. I put my own money, my sweat, my time into this. And I thought that, you know, my business was worth something. And I really, like, the only way I can retire is if I get around $2.5 million for this. Otherwise, I got to keep working. And it was just so she brings me in and says, help me understand what I've done wrong, and help me see what I can do to fix this. And it was pretty obvious once I was there, and I'm looking at financials and I'm trying to understand the way that the business works. It was really, really apparent to me that the success of her business was heavily dependent on her. She opened the doors every morning and closed the doors every night. She in her own head knew all of the vendors and all the customers. She had built a clientele that they didn't want to talk to her employees. They wanted to talk to her. So any investor that might be looking at this, and they come in and they look at it and they see, you know, what is this? Is this worth having? They're going to be discouraged by the idea that this owner has to work 12-hour shifts every single day and she's done it for 30 years. And there's a chance that if I invest $2.5 million into this company, that this is a gamble. As soon as she's gone, the value of the company's gone. So we start looking at, you know, where are these people coming up with this $250,000 evaluation or this offer? And it almost to the dollar comes down to the value of the assets that the business owns. So the hard assets, how much is the business or the building worth? How much are the trucks worth? How much are the computers worth? And basically, if she were to just liquidate her assets, that was all that anyone was willing to give her, which in turn means that all of her hard work to build up a business was worth zero. It was worth nothing. She didn't have to be a business owner to liquidate the truck or the building. So everything she did for 30 years, 12-hour days for 30 years, she couldn't get any value out of it. And it was just really discouraging, kind of a sad story. And so I stepped in and gave her some suggestions, and it all came down to the 4 pillars of a successful business. And if this sounds like someone like you, if you're opening your business every day and you're closing it and you're working hard, it's something. I'm not trying to cast any kind of shade on that or discourage you. Like I think it's something you should be proud of. And if you've taken the entrepreneur step and really taken a chance, I think you should be proud of that. It's something that our country was built on, was entrepreneurs. Every little city or every little town has been supported by entrepreneurs. I think it's something to be proud of. But my goal for this training and future trainings is to help you understand that it doesn't have to be the whole business is heavily dependent on you, that you don't have to carry the business the whole way. And so I've come up with a new program we call Automation Unleashed. We will drop it in the chat or have it pinned. I think on YouTube we have it pinned, where you can go and check out the details of the program and purchase it if you're interested. But this story of this lady, this 72-year-old lady who wants to retire and only has 2 options because she didn't focus on the 4 pillars of a successful business. And I'm going to walk you through what she did do and what most local businesses do. And then I'm going to walk you through how you can avoid those mistakes. What she did, and this is common. Like, I started jumping into a bunch of other local services. I've done this for years. I've consulted for years. And this is a common thing where somebody learn. So again, let's refresh the 4 pillars of a successful business. There's marketing, there's sales, then there's operations, and then there's fulfillment. What typically happens, and I'm just going to use an example like a mechanic. That's going to be easy for me to just stick with one example, but this is most local service businesses. Someone gets really, really good at that 4th pillar, fulfillment. Well, what does fulfillment mean? It means the technical side of it. Are you really good at mechanicking? Have you figured out how to be a good mechanic, right? So typically an entrepreneur, this is the life cycle of a lot of mom and pop local service businesses. Here's the life cycle. I'll just break it down. Got really good at a service. the fulfillment side of it. They got really, really good at it. And they probably work another job. And like on the side, buddy of mine, Brennan, comes and says, "Can you fix my car?" I fix it. He pays me. Then Brennan tells, "Hey, you know what? Luke fixed my car and he did a great job and it was awesome." And referrals. And I'm probably still working and making a little side money, like side hustle money. And eventually you get to the point where enough people are referring you and you love I mean, you wouldn't have gotten into this and really gotten good at it and invested thousands of hours in learning it and getting that good if you didn't love it. So you're loving this and you're really good at the fulfillment, the pillar. And you get put into this kind of crossroad where I get so many referrals from friends and family, and I really love mechanicking, and like I think I can make more money than my job. And so you kind of get this tipping point where you either you decide to give up on your dreams or you decide to quit, and that both feed in. And again, this is the life cycle of most local business entrepreneurs, right? Local service-based entrepreneurs. So then they kind of get pulled. Again, they're really good at the fulfillment one. I mean, that's the one that they're really good at. And they kind of get pulled into the operations, which is good. You don't want to push your way into any of the pillars. You want to get pulled into it. So they kind of get pulled into the operations pillar. So what's the operations pillar? All of the boring business stuff, registering an LLC, making sure you pay for your business license, make sure you pay your taxes on time, make sure your books look really good. Well, guess what? I'm a mechanic. Like I never signed up to learn bookkeeping or QuickBooks or count. Like I didn't sign up for that, but it's a necessary evil, so to speak. Some of you might not think that. Bookkeepers probably not. It's a necessary evil because I've decided I'm betting on myself. I'm going all in. I'm going to be this entrepreneur business owner, right? So you kind of get drug into operations. I wouldn't say you perfect it. You're not going to school, business school, and you're not learning how to properly bookkeep from a professional. You're probably watching some YouTube videos and maybe taking a little class here or there, and you're kind of getting pulled into the operations pillar. So you've really perfected the fulfillment. You got really good at mechanicing cars, and you kind of learned enough to run a business. I know how to register an LLC on my local county's site. I found a bookkeeper who can help me sort out the accounting. I found an accountant who can file for me. And I'm not joking you. I mean, I've consulted hundreds of local businesses and most of them end there. They get really, really good at technical side. They get okay at a couple of like operational stuff. And what ends up happening is they start wearing all these hats. You hear this all the time. How many hats does an entrepreneur wear? They wear a million hats in the business. But what really is happening is they're bouncing between these two pillars and just staying afloat. Like I'm going to work full time as a mechanic all day. Then I'm going to go home and I'm going to try to figure out this bookkeeping thing. So I'm working 2 full-time jobs, and eventually you don't have any more time in the day to figure out the other 2 pillars. And so this spark that you have, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to have my own time. I don't have to ask my boss for a day off. Eventually it turns into like 14-hour days or 24 hours. Like you're thinking of it 24/7. And you lay down one night and you think, this is not what I thought. Like, I don't think that I thought I was going to have more money, more time being my own boss. And then you have this weird like moment where you convince yourself, like, eventually I'll get this payoff. Eventually this will pay off. Okay. I thought that I was going to make more money right away. I thought I was going to have more time right away. That didn't happen. But I've got both feet in. Like eventually I'll get a payoff. Maybe when I sell my business, or maybe eventually the business will run smooth enough that I'll make really good money and not have to spend any time. And you convince yourself that that's going to happen. And again, you're avoiding or you're ignoring the other 2 pillars that have to be in place in order to have a valuable business. And so they're just constantly, and then eventually, think back to the lady that I talked about. Some of you guys have joined and didn't hear the story, but this 73-year-old lady, ready to retire, worked 12-hour days for 30 years, sweat equity, and her business was only worth the hard assets. I guarantee when she started that business, when she was in her 30s or in her, when she's 40 or whatever it was, that she believed she was going to gain time back by being her own boss, that she was going to be able to make more money by being her own boss. And every single day she had to convince herself that one day there'll be a payout. And guess what? It's time to retire and there's no payout. So the point of the story and the point of all of this is that you can't just get really good at the technical side And you can't just do the bare minimum to keep the business afloat on the operational side. So I've created this course or this program where I teach you how to really hone in on the operational side. Um, this lady working 12-hour shifts, it was a necessary evil. She had to do it because her operations, she didn't set up systems and processes. She didn't document it. So she literally could not delegate or hand it off. She had employees. She also kind of was a bottleneck with customers. People loved her. They knew who she was, and she welcomed it. It made her feel important. And I'm not trying to talk bad on you if you're watching or even bad on her at all. It made her feel important. People want to come talk to me. But what did that do? It set her up to not have an exit strategy. I think she thought, well, I know she did. She told me she thought that her kids might take over. And she thought that, if I can build this thing up and it has regular cash flow, maybe my kids will take over. Maybe they'll keep me on the payroll and, I can retire that way. Well, guess what? The kids didn't want to do it. They watched their mom kill herself building this business. You think they want to sign up for 12-hour days? Like, no, they would have done it already. They would have come in and helped her out. They show up when they want, and they leave when they want. And I'm not trying to talk anything on them either. Like, they have every right to not want to work 12-hour shifts. So she's left in this uncomfortable situation where she has to either work in her business 12-hour days. It was a life sentence. This wasn't like, she thought, I have to believe when she started this, she thought this was a way out. And it ended up being a life sentence. So she has two choices right now. Work every single day, 12-hour shifts until she dies. Or accept the fact that your business isn't worth anything and only worth the assets, liquidate them so you can finally get a little rest, but you're going to run out of money in about 2.5 years, especially being that old and you've got medical expenses. And then she's going to have to come out of retirement or hope her kids will take care of her. Really bad. She's in a bad spot. Sorry, I was rambling. So this course, I focus on making sure you set up systems and processes that are documented. I teach you how to use the latest technology to document them, and you don't have to be tech savvy. Like, I walk you through, there's modules that are like literally screen shares. Click this button, and I show you how to document your systems and processes so that way it's duplicatable. You can delegate them at an appropriate time, and you can step back. You don't have to work those 12-hour days. I'm not saying that entrepreneurship's easy or that starting a business is easy or that you can jump right into entrepreneurship and not have to work like a ton. Like, you have to work a ton, but you have to also keep in mind like the end goal. Like, why did I do this? I wanted to get my time and my freedom back. I wanted to make more money than I would have at a normal job. And we lose sight of that just to keep it afloat. I got to wear the hat of the technician and kind of wear the hat of an operator and just keep bouncing back and forth. And we don't end up running an actual business. So I teach you how to document first of all, how to set up systems and processes, and then document them so that you can duplicate them and delegate them so you don't have to work 12-hour days. Then there's a module, again, the 4 pillars are marketing, sales, operations, and fulfillment. So you're already really good at fulfillment. I'm not going to teach you that. You know how to mechanic, you know how to cut hair, you know how to mow lawns, whatever your industry is, whatever your business is, you know how to do that. I'm not going to mess with that. You kind of know how to do operations. You know how to sign up for your tax ID, and or maybe you don't. Maybe you're new to this, but you're going to have to figure this out to get a tax ID and get your business license and file your taxes and all that. You kind of know how to do that. I'm going to help straighten you out. I'm going to help point out a few low-hanging fruit of how to set up systems and processes and document them. Then I'm going to show you how to do marketing. Now, this is not a marketing course. Like, I want to be super clear. This is not just another marketing course. Here's how you run Facebook ads, and here's how you run Google ads. That's not what I do. But there is a section in this course, because of how important all 4 of these pillars are. I teach you how to run local ads on social media for your local business. And if you've never ran ads before and that sounds intimidating, you're like, I'm not a marketer and I don't care to learn to be a marketer. I'm not trying to teach you to be a marketer. I'm trying to teach you how to be an entrepreneur that has a business that's worth something. So you've got to know how to do a little bit of marketing. So I'm going to show you, and don't get intimidated. It's literally a screen share, and I'm going to show you what buttons to click. I'm not just going to go over theories or, here's your cost per click that you want, and go over all these things and sound really smart. I'm literally going to elementary education, click this button, upload this type of image, and I'm going to walk you through it, and you're going to launch your first ad. So you've got the technical side down. You've got the fulfillment one down. I'm going to straighten out your operations and teach you how to document that and duplicate it and hand it off. Then I'm going to show you how to do your own marketing, or a little bit of your marketing. You're not going to be an expert at it, but I'm going to show you how to do local marketing. And then the last pillar is sales. Now, this is the one that everyone shies away from. They're all scared of, and I never got into entrepreneurship because I wanted to be a sales bro. I didn't want to go to, I didn't want to be that guy. And I don't want to sell, and it's like really scary. And I'm not. In this course, I don't even teach you how to do that. This pillar, it's essential, but I understand that it's difficult, and sometimes it is a personality thing. It takes time, and I would challenge you that you recognize it's uncomfortable, but try it. But I don't teach that in this course, do I, Brent? I teach you how to connect your marketing to AI software that will then do the selling for you. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to set up the marketing. I'm not asking you to do these cold calls or answer these calls, and I'm asking you to click a few buttons and turn on some AI software and connect it to your marketing. Have the AI do the closing for you, do the selling for you. Then I'm going to teach you how to run an operation that's efficient and an operation that's duplicatable, that doesn't rely on me. I don't have to be there 12 hours a day to make sure it runs. And all you have to do is make sure you do a kick butt job, at what you already love to do. I call this lady that I worked with, that I keep referencing, I call this type of person an accidental business owner. And this is like the saddest thing to me, because 90% of the people that I work with that are in the service-based industries are accidental business owners. They got really good at a service, they got pulled into the operations, and they find themselves with very little business education and hoping that one day I'll get the payout. And I'm just telling you right now, I can see the writing on the wall. If all you're doing is focusing on how you serve your community and how your service is, and I'm going to get by with a few little operation things that I know how to do, I'm telling you, the writing on the wall is you're going to every day be chained to that business. You're going to worry about, can I take a vacation for a week? And is my business going to be okay? And better yet, will my business grow while I'm gone? And you're going to say, no, there's no way I can take a week. Well, can I do 3 days? Well, no, I have to be there. Or maybe you will, but then you'll be stressed out on your vacation and worry about it. And then you'll go to bed and you'll say, you know what, I'm going to get this big payout eventually. And I'm telling you, if all you do is focus on the fulfillment and a little bit of the operations, you're going to wake up just like this lady did. And you're going to say, where was the big payout? And why did I do this? This course is set up, and we're going to drop it in the chat. And again, it's going to be pinned on YouTube. If you don't see it dropped in the chat, you can DM me, and I can send it to you, or one of my team can send it to you. But I want to be like super clear. It's not going to happen the way you think it is if that's all you're focused on. If you can't focus on the 4 pillars, you're going to end up the same way that this lady did. I don't want that for you. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I own my own local service business, and I have a lot of respect and a lot of empathy. And I believe that entrepreneurs are the backbone of America, of this country. And I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to do is get you out of this mindset of, I hope one day I get a payout. And that's fine too. Like, if you want to pay, you should want to pay out. But I don't want it to be a surprise to you if you get there, and because your systems and processes aren't duplicatable. Essentially what I'm trying to get your business, and this is the first step to do that, is get your business. If you had to hand your keys over to somebody, let's say your kid, a lot of these mom and pops, they want to hand their business off to their kid. If you had to hand it off to your kid and not say a word, you weren't allowed to explain who the accountant was, or how to find clients, or you weren't allowed to explain. You had to hand the keys over and let it run. I guarantee, if I asked you to do that tomorrow, I guarantee most of you it would not go well. I'm trying to get you in the mindset and get you in a better place where you're closer to a business that can run and operate without the business owner being chained to it, and a way that it's valuable. Once you have those 4 pillars taken care of, okay, put yourself in an investor's position. You see on this business broker site that there's a business for sale that does, $1 million, for example, $1 million in revenue, and they're selling it for $2 million or $2.5 million. We'll just stick with the lady we'll stick with the whole theme. So let's say she does it. I think she did $1.5 million in revenue. She wants 2.5 for it. Okay, it seems like it could be on paper, could be a good deal. Okay, so let's say you see a second one, identical, does $1.5 million in revenue. They want 2.5 million to sell it, and you draw the curtain back on both of them. And the first one you look at, owner is tied to the business 12 hours a day. All of the clients, they don't have a marketing budget. You think they have control over how many customers come in? No, she and I'm not talking bad about like old school, like be friendly and she should be so proud. She accumulated all these people that are now her loyal clients. But that's not something that you can duplicate. If I buy that business and she doesn't work there, I lose clients or potentially lose clients. So I've got somebody who's chained to the business. I've got somebody who all the customers love her and she's the success of the business. She doesn't have any systems or processes written down. So if she's gone, I don't know who the vendors are. I don't know how they typically do it. You see what I'm saying? So I see that one. I'm like, that's like I've got, if I have $2.5 million, you think I want to sign myself up for a 12-hour a day life sentence? No. And then now contrast that with what I teach you in this course. You see $1.5 million in revenue. You see $2.5 million price tag. Makes sense. This could be a sexy deal. You draw back the curtains. You go and visit the business. They've got employees talking to customers. They have a marketing budget that they can give you metrics. Well, this year we spent $1,000 in marketing or $10,000 in marketing, brought this many people in, and we dialed it up, and we were able to and they have a strategy to get more people. It's not dependent on me, the business owner. And you go and you visit, and the numbers are identical, but now the business owner doesn't have to be there. There's systems and processes that here's a training manual. Here's how this person does this job. And now as an investor, you know that if you bought this, it's going. If they handed you the key without explaining anything, you know who your vendors are, who your suppliers are, you know who your customers are, you know what your marketing strategy is, you know what your branding is, you know your voice, you know all of that. So you've got these two different businesses. Which one are you going to choose? There's no way you wouldn't touch that first one with a 10-foot pole. Even if the numbers made sense, you wouldn't do it. You would take the second one all day long. And that's what I'm trying to say is if you want to only focus on the technical, if you want to get by with the bare minimum, bookkeeping, filing your taxes, getting your business license, and you want to keep wearing those hats, I just want you to understand that at the end of the day, when it's time to retire or hand it off, there's not going to be a big payout. Everyone's going to look at your business and say, I don't want to touch that because it's so heavily dependent on the owner. You need to be able to build a business that doesn't rely so heavily on you. So those are the four pillars. I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you like the content and you want to learn more, I'm going to be doing these regularly. Sorry, Instagram, I have not been giving you as much attention. I'm going to be doing these more. If you like this, just follow me, turn on your notifications. We'll be doing this probably weekly. And then if you're interested in the course that I'm talking about, where I help you dial in those last three pillars, it's our Automation Unleashed course. It will be pinned to some of these platforms. Other platforms, they won't let us pin it. So you can just DM me and I will send you a link, or one of my team will send you a link. Any questions that have come in from the chats?
Yeah, we do have a question on YouTube.
Okay.
From Will.
Okay.
He says, what if you struggle to delegate to employees? I don't know where the disconnect is, but I'm struggling to get my employees to hit the gas on the assignments I give them.
Yeah, this is a good question. This is a hard one. And even for me, this doesn't come natural. Delegation doesn't come natural. And that's why, and again, I'm not trying to, like, I guess I am, but like, not to hit too much and sound like a broken record, but in this course, before we even talk about delegation, we talk about documentation. I think a big fear in delegating is it's an insecurity that maybe I can't convey to my employee exactly what they're supposed to do. And so the ball will be dropped. And again, there's also a level of like, I'm important. I'm the only one who knows how to do that. You have to get rid of that, because what's more, you tell me what's more important, having a business that gives you the freedom to do what you want and be around your family when you want and pays you better money than a job. Is that important? Or is it important that everyone in my company has to ask me what to do and everyone like has to come to me? I'm telling you, like, ask yourself that question and get rid of the ego. And, but to go back to the question, I think a big reason why delegation doesn't happen is because there's a fear that and I think it's an interpersonal, like a fear that maybe I can't convey the right thing. and then I'm going to drop the ball, and there's too many steps that I'm going to forget. So before I even get into delegation, I teach you how to document systems. You've seen the program, like literally every step you do. So it's impossible for whoever you've delegated it to miss a step. I show you AI technology that will record every single little thing that you do and how to fine tune it. And so the short answer is you've got to find a way to document it in a way that you feel comfortable before you can delegate. And then you can kind of slowly give it to your employees and feel confident that you've documented it properly. Then if the ball gets dropped, you have something to hold them accountable to. Here's the documentation. Here's how we do this process. I gave you the documentation. So let's go through the steps where you missed. I think that's where a lot of the insecurity comes from. Any other questions?
Take a look.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the chat.
You could ask too if anybody has questions.
Yeah, throw it in the chat.
If we
It
don't
looks
get 'em
like,
in this video, we can give 'em in
and
the
that's
next.
fine. I mean, that's fine. I anticipate. I mean, I went over a lot of stuff. We've got a few people on each platform, but yeah, if you have any questions, if not, no big deal. DM me if you want. If you're interested in the Automation Unleashed course. For those of you who are just joining, we got a few of them that just joined. Yeah, welcome. This is we did a quick training. You can watch the replay. Quick training on the 4 pillars of a successful business, and how most entrepreneurs, especially local service businesses, they fall into this trap of accidental business owner where they only do one of the pillars, which is the fulfillment side, the technical side. They kind of get drug into the operational pillar where I'll learn a little bit about business, but just enough to get by, where I'm legal. I have my license and insurance and I pay my taxes, but they don't really and you can't blame them. I didn't learn how to cut hair because I wanted to be a tax professional. I loved cutting hair. Not me. I'm just saying and then I happened to be so good at it that everybody wanted me to cut their hair. And so I decided I'm going to take a bet on myself, and I think I can make more money than working somewhere else. So I'm going to be my own boss. So they learn a little bit of the operational side, just enough to get by. And what ends up happening is they work years and years and years in a job that they created for themselves, but they called themselves a business owner, and they never got what they truly wanted. Every business owner, I don't care who you are, we all have the same goal, that we can make a positive impact in our communities, that we can make better money than a job, and that we can have more time than the normal 9 to 5. I'm willing to put in 12 hours a day at the beginning, but I want to get my time back. And if you're only focusing on the technical side and you're not focusing on the other 3 pillars, my warning to you and my plea to you is if you keep doing that, the writing on the wall is that you're never going to have your time or your money that you expect, and you're going to be sorely disappointed at the end of your life. I truly believe that. And so I'm begging you to learn, whether you purchase the program or not. Follow me, and I'll try to teach as much as I can about this and change your mindset. How do I build this business in a way that's duplicatable? That if I died tomorrow, my family or my employees could still run it, and not just run it, but run it well and grow it. That's how you need to be thinking about your business. So that way, if the time comes that you do want to sell and exit, you'll have a big exit. If the time comes that you want to hand it off to your kids, you can hand it off to your kids and they can run it. So yeah, that's everything. Thank you everybody for coming. I'm trying to wave at 3 different cameras. Thank you everybody. And we'll keep these going regularly. So make sure you subscribe or like or follow. All right. Thanks you guys. If I share. Okay. So we didn't clap at the beginning of the one.
That's all right.